Alrighty, welcome back, you fellow dusty dogs and travelers of the trail out there. Some more Crash Bandicoot 2. Last time, we went through the first warp room and got basically already about halfway through the second. We have now integrated Coco, but we have 2 more levels left, which means we're going to start off with Crash Crush. We got another boulder level here, people. I'm going to push this just a very small amount away. I don't want to push it too far away because it starts getting closer to my... Again, it's freaking hot. Desk fan. I have a desk fan over here that is... It's just a little tiny thing that's like plugged in via USB to my computer, but oh, it's helping. It's helping. You have no idea how much this is helping. And we already get a little bit of a break here because it's about to introduce the electric gates. Bane in my existence during the time trials because trying to get around those things, they put them in some nasty positions. Also, we got a little split path here. I don't have to worry too much about backward facing this time around. There we go. Because we got a little platform that'll take me back. Especially considering that gate there. I don't think it would have allowed me to, so... I told you they're the bane of my existence. I didn't realize they'd be a death of me where I don't normally get one, but... We'll boil that down to recording luck. To streaming luck. Of course it'd be the one time that it gets caught on film. I was also about to make a statement like, oh wow, I'm already at 50 lives, which is one of the faster times I've gotten to this point. But no, it decided to screw me over. There we go, because you gotta be a couple... That's why they're the bane. Because you have to be careful about a couple of vicious placements like that, where it's like, oh, you slide underneath, you think you're gonna continue running? No, you need to jump. Also, hidden. And I actually double-checked, that was in the original PlayStation game, so that was actually fairly accurate. I didn't know about that until I saw that in the new one. Of course, that's also me being a blind idiot at portions, so yeah. It's actually funny. I might have to set that up for something at some point, but I play this game pretty competently, but I can't speedrun it. But I can do speedruns of the first one. Or at least I have tried doing speedruns of the first one. So I might have to set that up and do a stream where I just do, like, 2 or 3 runs. And just see how well I do. That being said, they're also, like, really, really tense. So the last times I think I've tried it, have only been, like... I've only been able to do, like, 1 time a piece on an any percent run. Son of a... Recording luck is not on my side today. Also, I should probably try and do this a little bit faster because I got to do a... This one's a little bit more vicious than the other one was because I do have to do a belly flop on this one here. And these are also spaced just far enough apart I don't think the boulder would have hit all of them. They certainly did in the original one. You would miss 4 if you weren't careful. Yeah, despite 100 times playing this one, I can't do it at any percent. I'm way too much of a compulsive collector, and I still have to kind of shake myself out of it a lot of the times on the other one. All right, let's do back over to Coco for Eel Deal. Eelio Dealio. I don't remember the rest of the story, but I do remember the, one of my cousins could always tell the story very, very well, but the, Daily Poo, give me back my Daily Poo. I am not horror inclined. That is just a vivid memory now that sticks out, but that is the only portion of it that I remember. At all. I think it was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It might have been something else, but it was, I know it was like some, like, it was featured in some book of short stories where you had this weird, like, it was almost an ai type creature going around asking for a tail that had been cut off. I don't remember it very well, but I do know it was in, like, one of those short story books. I think it was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, or it's like one of those variants. Barrels are toxic, by the way. They will explode and you will die. Water fine to go through when the eel is not shocking it. So I am avoiding them as much as possible, but otherwise... Oh, we got another backward section here. Again. Not too often, but they show up just enough for them to be annoying. Oh, there we go, yeah. I ended up wasting a mask. But I suppose rather there, but... Still annoying. There we go. That's the green gem side path complete. Those little platforms that are floating do often sink into the water, so you can't use them reliably. You have to kind of jump on them and then at a clean moment get off when you know you have enough time to cross, or if you can make the jump successfully. I don't know why that... the funny thing is, I had to break myself off. This happens all the time in conversations. I had to break myself off enough that I no longer remember what the hell I was even referencing when I was trying to make the Taily-Poo. When I was making the Taily-Poo reference. I have no idea what my brain was originally like. Why did my brain go there? This happens a lot. Like, if I'm trying to add something into a conversation, that'll happen where I'm just like... If somebody cuts me off, or if I have to cut myself off, I'll be like, wait, what were you trying to do? Even it was relevant at that point in the conversation, but it's like, nope, somebody else had to finish speaking, and you couldn't interject a thought in, so bye! It must not have been important. I'm trying to relate to you with this conversation here. It was important in terms of social relations. My brain is just not working correctly the same as yours is. Has it happened with the actually important stuff? Yes! I don't remember what they are anymore because my brain has forgotten about it. And of course, normal procedure, it probably doesn't remember until like 20 minutes later when the conversation's moved on so far where it's like, this is absolutely no longer relevant at this point. Brain dumb sometimes. I did very, very well in school, but my brain is, like, social brain is dumb sometimes. Fully admit. Fully admit. Or I should say, like, again, I had problems in school that I mentioned already in the previous one that kind of, where I, like, failed and flunked out of a bunch of classes and had trouble with others. But if it likes what it's doing, my brain is actually, like, very, very smart at retaining information and keeping it. But I also had moments where it was just like, are you shitting me?
10 of 25 crystals. You're on your way. I'm running low on power, so communication from this point will be difficult. Remember, I'm counting on you.
I wish they kept that line in there because it's actually funny and it's a non sequitur that doesn't even apply in the original one. The planets will align. I believe that was the planets will align shortly. All 13 of them. But they fuzzed out a couple of those lines where it made reference to either stuff that no longer is the case, or it has trouble. Like, it was troublesome compared to the original one. In trying to, like, remake that one, like something changed, either a developer reference or something like that. But the planets will align shortly. All 13 of them. and is nothing that even applied when the original one came out, so I'm not sure why that would be the case. Anyway, favorite boss, Komodo! Komodo Bros! I don't know, it might be my general love of reptilian things, but I believe it's Komodo Mo is the skin. No, Komodo Mo is the skinny one. Komodo Joe is the fat. I might be getting that backwards, but skinny one for some reason I find. If he was not trying to chuck a scimitar at me, it probably would be a wood on the skinnier one here. Because it's also just something very reptilian and snaky about his face that I also enjoy. That also applied in the original ones. Yeah, I'm a furry. Some of that comes up. Some of those interests come up every once in a while. I'm a furry. Of course you're gonna find me saying wood at a freaking green screen reptilian monster with a wide flat head. I know people who would do more with less. I need to go this way. Booyah! I don't know why. I just like the boss fight. I like the boss fight. I like the arena. I like the design of the boss themselves. Like, it's a lot of points. Multiple respects. Oh, that gets even further into fanfiction that has no relation to anything in this game. Except, I used to put it where one of the Komodo brothers, if I were to end the series on a particular game, I have an exact idea for how that game's plot would go down.
Good show, Crash. The Komodo brothers obviously lacked your mettle. But now's not the time to get cocky. There are still many crystals to obtain. Remember, the world is counting on you.
In particular, at that point, the one that I wanted to mention, the point in particular that I wanted to mention for that was, also, I believe this is going to be a very Coco-heavy warp room because of the levels that I have to access. So I might go back and forth, but... basically the game series that if I were to end the entire series, if I were to design a full-on ending for the series, no more games would be made. We would know no more games would be made, time to send it out on a grand finale note. It would be... The basic summary would be... Oh, I forgot I have to use a different warp room. I have to do a different level first, come back here, and then do that one. I'm a dub. I am not paying attention. Let's put it that way. I'm just not paying attention right now. It's this one I gotta do first. Because I have to get the yellow gem from here before I can into the one in Sewer Later. Because Sewer Later has a gem that I need to go down below and get a thing for, where I can do that here. But yeah, anyways. If I were to end the series, it would be a thing where... Cortex gets revenge on Uka Uka by hooking him up to a machine, causing everything to go super mutant because he's drawing power from Uka Uka directly. Just being like, I'm tired of having enough of me being used by you. I'm going to use you now. And then being part of a, so creating basically super mutants. Mo, I believe, which is the fat one, would be the one that I would consider as a boss. And Joe would be an ally after seeing, wait a minute, wait. I don't like what's going on here. You just completely wrecked my bro? That's not cool of you? So yes, I would imagine one of the Komodo brothers as an ally for that one. And of course, it's the one I said would do earlier. So yeah, what do you think? Was it going to be the other one? I don't know what it is about this game in particular. It's just drawing out some weird... I don't know what it is about this series in general that does things for me. Most of the time I have a very chaste view of it, but then all of a sudden I get into scenes like the... Oh, crap. Oh, I'm missing boxes back there. Because I was a dumb and I hit the checkpoint. As I said with other games, I have knowledge, not competence. I know what I'm doing, I can't always pull it off. Let's redo that. It should be a little bit easier this time, but... Why? I'm gonna lose lives on this level. I always do, though. I suppose it's not out of the ordinary. I almost always... Excuse me. When I'm going through, I almost always lose lives on this level because... I will lose my, the mask. And then... This first section is legitimately hard without it. I'm talking this section right here. Yeah, see, I missed all of those. This is the one that I hate. There we go. Now everything should be fine. We're not hitting the checkpoint this time. Uh-oh. This is actually problematic. If I don't have the mask, that's going to be bad for the end of the level. That vice grip at the end between two of the plants? Yeah, that's a problem. If I don't have a mask for it. I'm dead. This part right here, I'm dead. Yep, one of them will catch me regardless. It doesn't matter what you do. You need to have a mask at that section to pass. Let's go this way. Also, this to me is like one of the better nitro integrations into a level where it's just enough to get hairy. It's just enough to get hairy, but not like so oversaturated with them. There's another level that does this later that I actually really like the nitro use on. It's behaving when we get there. Shit. I still have one left. This level's so reliant on these, that's why I keep, like, sweating it if ever there's a problem. Well, I got the lives back. I got the lives back. I should be able to go back to the original checkpoint now. Thank the Lord. Okay, now we can do this normally. Oh, that took way too long to do that one. The first technical level of the warp room. But yeah, now I don't have to be so concerned about the plants anymore because I'll be able to go around and take my time with them. I just couldn't when I was doing the other one for the yellow. A fairly simple bonus round. Which is also good because it gives me a breather after that freaking time trial. Let's see. Okay. There we go. We're actually getting a profit on this level. We're getting a life profit on this now. I started with 55 and now I'm 57. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I almost always have one loss. I think like 30% of the time I can make it through that section unscathed, but yeah, most of the time, 70-80% of the time, yeah, it's I lose one. There we go. We already got that, so we can just move onwards. Nothing special in particular. I've tried getting over there, and nothing special in particular about that platform back there with the one flower right before the dock. So, no particular reason to go back. Okay, now we can do sewer later. God, that took way too long. I think I'm keeping a better pace than I would normally, though, so we're not doing too bad. Alright, sewer later. Get in there. This one, the notable thing is that the water is deeper, so it slows you down similar to the mud pits. I'm actually going to keep that mask there because it's going to apply more to the main level. It's going to help out more in the main level, whereas I really only need to get a certain way into here. With the note that this one is, this one does get fucked over because this one is almost entirely active. So I do have to be careful about not falling into the water here. Now I can. Because though it required me getting down there safely, and without dying to get the gem, now that I've got the gem, who cares? Oh, I already lost the thing. It's more during the time trial where the mask will come into play. There's 3 masks that allow you to just, like, breeze through this level. It's 1, and then there's 2, and then I think this is the 3rd one that you'd be able to just frickin' fly. It would have made things a little bit easier here, but not terribly so. There we go. There's some nitro here that will not be destroyed until I leave, but that's fine. There is a detonator. There is a standard detonator crate at the end of the level, so we will be good. And we make up our deficit from the one I lost in the yellow gem area. So that's spinning just a little too fast for you to go through, but you can also spin these little guys out of the way, and they respawn, so that you can hit the blades and clear a path. And we'll have to do this one more time. Used to be I would be able to know where the exact spot is where you could just kind of sit and do that. I occasionally lose it now, so I will lose the mask and not always get everything like pitch perfect on it, but most of my knowledge comes from the original one, but I've played this one a fair amount now. It's been out since what, 2017, so yeah. I'm still fairly familiar with this one. This is one of them I probably play through on a like twice yearly basis now. It's not as much as I used to in my younger days, but it's there. Oh, come on. I could have the ability to do the invincibility run to the... Oh, there we go. It sunk on me. Wasn't trying to show that off, but that's what it does. It's fairly generous with time limit, but you still have to kind of rush over certain sections with them. Fancy little spin going up there, sir, but didn't help you. There we go. Okay, we're moving. We're getting back into the grooving. We're moving, we're getting back to the grooving. Anyway. Alrighty, I'm going to do the other 2 levels first because they each have hidden paths. They each have hidden routes that I can use, so I want to get through those first. Well, first we got a notification from Cortex. Nope, Coco.
Thank goodness! I hacked into Cortex's computer and found detailed schematics for an improved Cortex Vortex and a suspicious-looking space station. I'm not sure, but Cortex might be trying to...
She talks just a little too much to actually get the relevant information out. We love her. She's trying. Alright, bear down. We got another one of these. Oh, that's another thing that I actually have mild amusement about. There's always a complaint. Like, one of my other favorite games in this series is not the one you would expect. It's Wrath of Cortex. Wrath of Cortex has some stuff that, again, is mechanically, like, weird about it. But at the same time, Wrath of Cortex is one of my favorite games in the dang series. Because it introduces stuff that wouldn't be done until it's about time. Levels get all their own... Instead of... You'll see here that we're basically using, like, tile sets. This is the exact same, like, asset set that Barrett uses. And we have one more that will also use this exact same asset set. Where Wrath of Cortex has... a couple of levels that use the same assets, but most of the time they're separate individual, like, levels. All the levels are, like, different. They all have their own feel and vibe to them that aren't just, like, copy-pasted backgrounds and assets. Not that these are boring to look at or anything in the earlier games. It's just that there is more variety to the level sets in that one. In addition, each level gets its own track. I do have to grab this, otherwise it won't give it to me. Now I can exit out the secret path here. It's got some weird mechanical issues with it, but the main mechanical issue that people have is that 90% is like 80%, 80 something like that percent of the levels require a vehicle. And I'm like, okay. That's not a big problem. In this game, you have, the river levels all have something. Oh, here's our alternate entrance to air crash, access through bear down. But yeah, so you have like the, so this game right here has, what is it, 3 levels that are part of the, river set that all will require the use of a vehicle in order to progress through. I'm not going to try that last one over there. I always have trouble with these jumps in this version. But I got an extra life out of it, so cool. But yeah, so these levels have this, which is a vehicle. You have the bear levels in this one, so that's another 3 that get added on. So that's already 6 out of 27 here. And then you have... So that's 30% of the levels. So if you include the rocket stages, plus a boss needs it. So that's a lot. That's a third of this game that needs... that requires the use of a vehicle. If we're then looking at... Or I guess they call them gimmicks. So that would still be... But yeah, that would still be... 30% of the levels in this game require a gimmick. And that's not including when you get to the next game, when you get to Warped, and they have... Let's see, you have... Out of 30 levels, you have... Is it 4 on the motorbike? 4 with Coco, so that's now 8. 2 on Pura, so that's 10. 10 out of 30. 1 can be done without the dinosaur, but it's better to use it in order to get through the jumps. So that's 11. Two biplane stages. That's now 13 out of 30. So we're still at the 40% mark, I think. Two underwater levels, so that's another... So now we're at 15. I can swear there's one more that I can't remember right now off the top of my head. Like, basically, they're counting gimmick levels as sections where you are basically not playing as Crash on foot. Or sections, levels that have something where Crash is not on foot. So there's still, even with the tile set variations, there's still, like, half the game that you're still doing as a vehicle-controlled, not Crash on foot. And with one exception, which is the Dino, Ecopus Rex. Oh, wait, no, 33 biplane levels, so that's already 16. 16 out of 30. And with one exception, which is the Ecopus Rex, in which it is not mandatory, none of the ones that I mentioned right now, the biplanes, this Coco on the jet ski, the biplanes, none of them have foot sections. So they're full gimmick levels. The motorbikes. Yeah, those are all full gimmick levels. So there's no... Oh, and the scuba levels. There's no foot crash. There's just the gimmick. So I never understood that. I have never understood why that was a complaint. You already, in the third game, have, like, half the game being used as gimmicks. Which, to me, I don't care. I like them. And it helps that most of the gimmicks in the other one are kind of new and fresh for the series. So I was just like, I'm okay with this. And none of them are, like, terribly intuitively hard to use. One more reverse stage, then we'd have a bear with us. But yeah, so... Yeah, so to me, I never got what the Wrath of Cortex complaint was about that. It has its own complaints for me. It has aspects that I'm like... I don't entirely get it because they only show up like once or twice. Which that part I understand. But there's also other portions where it's like, oh. Mechanically... Another thing that's mechanically weird about Wrath of Cortex, the climbing for some reason is very, very slow. There's overhead sections that you've seen here in the sewer levels, where you'll be climbing on a grate overhead and you can't fall off, otherwise there's like trouble underneath. That happens also in Wrath of Cortex, but Wrath of Cortex has a weird quirk where everything is like ridiculously slow whenever you do something like that. Who knows why, but it's all like ridiculously slow. Hidden area by jumping off those little two platforms at the end. You'll notice that because they are the only two... It's the only time where a board does not break when the thing chasing you falls down. Or at least that's supposed to be the intent, I believe. Oh, we got a mask in this section, which is neat. I believe we'll have one more opportunity for a mask later as well. Destroy it. There we go. I'm not going to be able to get that because I accidentally hit the saw turtle. Got to be careful of the bullets here. I believe in this version the bullets do have little tiny fins on them, so they are not fully like bullets. Something weird about the ratings agency that basically made it where if they have rockets, that doesn't count. You can actually see this also on Pinstripe's battle. Nothing that is shooting at you is technically a bullet because they all have fins. Oh, we have one more. I wasn't aware you'd be so generous with the mask in this section. But they are. And now I can do bonus round. There were nitro here. There'd be 4 on top of that little metal crate there. Metal crate section over there. But now that I blew them up, they're gone. But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of people who... There are mechanically, like, weird things about it, but because of the individual level tile sets and the music, I do... Also, the levels themselves are, like, graphically interesting. So that also helps when you have all the different tile sets, that everything looks very slightly different. Nothing looks... Again, because nothing looks cut and pasted, as they're all separate environments. Yeah, it just makes it more of a visual treat to go through that game. And that's even on clunky, like, PS2 3D graphics. That's actually not terrible. It's actually pretty good. Even though Crash in that game very much does look like the, like this one, like, Crash looks like a semi-believable, like, mammal, marsupial thing. In the PlayStation 2 Crash Wrath of Cortex, he looks a little bit like the bendy rubber one that the bendy rubber toy that was given out, I think, for a while at, I think it was Burger King? I think it was Burger King that had it. I don't remember it entirely clearly, but I do remember having that particular thing. I lost it a long time back. I think I talked about this in the other one as well. I lost it a long time back, but I do remember getting that and it being like a constant companion of mine for like... It's actually a really long time. It was like 10, 12 years. 10 or 12 years that I had that thing, and I got it when I was like 5 or 6. So I remember having it until I was almost 20. And now it's lost. Lost to time, lost to, I don't know entirely, but yeah, it's lost somewhere out there. Totally Bear! We got another bear stage. A full secret level, not a hidden entrance to something. This is its own level. Access through that little backward section on Again, I'm not going after that thing because it will count this and the ending portion. I do need to use the boost in order to get over some of those. Otherwise, I do not have the distance on a standard jump. In Wall of Dark stage, this is an auto one anyway, so it's not terribly bad. You still give plenty of time to see what you're supposed to get and maneuver ahead of, so... Oh! That one gives me trouble. Admittedly, that jump has given me trouble in the past, so I'm not entirely surprised to find myself dying there. This is arguably, like, slightly shorter than the other game, though, so, again, this shouldn't take me that long to finish. We're already more than halfway through, I believe. I don't know what time we're at. I haven't looked for a while. Again, Stream Manager. You fucked up by not being allowing me to see the time. I don't know what I'm doing here. We're flying blind. I'm going to keep continuing to complain about it. Yeah, we still have plenty of time. We're only 38 minutes into this one. Hey, 38 minutes and we got 38 boxes in this level. But anyways, yeah, so there we go. Totally Bear. Alrighty, up we go. And we got one more level up here. In the original PlayStation game, if you completed the secret level, it would boot you back out the warp level that you had originally entered on. So I would be booted right out of Unbearable in the original game. Anyway, Road to Ruin. Road to Ruin. And this is one of my other favorite level sets that is featured in this game. The Ruined ones are just great. Also one of my other favorite musics in this game. It's this, Rocket, and one that we will encounter in the next Warp Room that are among some of my favorite OSTs, like level tracks for the entire series. And in addition to Rocket, one of them also hits the all-time list. What are my volume sets at here? Is that? Okay. I was trying to make sure the volume was all the way up on the music. Monkeys throwing logs at us. We can spin them away. We actually could do this in the original one. I never knew that for the longest time, but... we can. We cannot get all the boxes here because this one requires an alternate entrance, so that's why I was leaving this one for last. Because it's literally just grab the hard path gem and get out. There you are. What? Now! I was sliding. I was supposed to slide. It didn't want to. So I have to go through that whole section again. Wow, I actually managed to jump over him entirely. That's a first. Most of the time, you're just supposed to spin him out of the way, otherwise he causes you damage, but... that time? Nope. I apparently was pacifist on that one. Not on the others, though. Can I spin you with your own log? Doesn't want to let me. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Wait for the fire, and there we go. Hard path gem. And I do have to go backwards just a little bit. Nope, I died. Okay. We'll go backwards this way and just do the regular path now. I believe I'd still be able to access the hard path, but I don't need it anymore. I already got the gem out of it. There we go. That's what I was aiming for. That guy. What the heck? I've never done that. Why? Why this one? Oh, okay. I just realized. The R button. I'm playing on the Switch control. I'm playing on the Switch. And the R button on the Switch controller will also do that. That's the thing it can do. Is cause you to slide. So I might have accidentally pressed the R button at some point. Don't need you for right now. We'll collect everything else so I can get a shit ton of lives, but I don't need to collect everything because I will not be able to get everything in this level. So that means I don't need to do bonus at least. There we go. 42 out of 89. Unfortunately, we are missing... I think it's 32 in the off path that I wouldn't be able to get. And then I just voluntarily skipped the bonus. But I believe that means it is now boss time. Yep, it is boss time. And the one that could go either very quickly or be difficult.
My boy, you are more than halfway there. But I'm sure you've noticed noticed that things are getting harder. The last 10 crystals will be the hardest to gather, and our enemies will be sending their strongest forces to thwart you. I'll contact you again when you have completed the next warp room.
Alrighty. Tiny. The series original Bada. I don't know, though. He's evil. The personality turns me off, though. Alright. Tiny cannot hit... Tiny can jump on you and attack you directly. You can't actually attack Tiny. So the easiest way in order to get him to go down is to make him fall into a pit. Which is also what I mean by the fact this could either be really quick or take you a while. So what I end up doing is just kind of kiting him around the corners. Waiting for one of them to go red. And then he'll want to... Whoops. That one... Yeah, that one I failed. Miserably. But yeah, the easiest way is just kind of kite him around the corners and he'll kind of follow you in a diamond. And then, for example, it gives you something like this. And he'll fall down. That's the easiest way, at least, that I found for this one. And if you maintain just kind of a steady path like this. Tiny don't care. He's dumb. He will just follow you at the shortest path possible. So hey, guess what? He'll fall into things even if the panel you were standing on is red. And then this one, they start falling randomly. And then let me see if I can get him on across this one. Yep. Oh, it's going to be this one over here. There we go. So yeah, similar to Ripperoo's fight in the original game, there is just a very slight element of randomness in some of that fight. So effectiveness of how that strategy goes varies, but that is the easiest one that I've found to deal with him. And up to the next. And now we get a series of very long levels. I think pretty much every one of these is going to take me a while. Let's start with hanging out. I think we'll just be able to just kind of go in order the entire rest of this. Or close to the rest of this. I will be doing somewhat differently once I get to the final warp room. But this one, at least, I'll just be able to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or, as it is, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, we're already like halfway through. We're over halfway through at this point. Those little scrubbing bubbles guys are going to come at me pretty regularly, but no big deal. NBD. Ooh. That's a first. I got 2 lives out of there. Usually it only gives me like 1. Most of the time they don't include that much of an element of randomness in this game for some reason. Which is probably what got them the idea to do for It's About Time for the Wumpa Fruit challenges, but which I think is stupid, by the way. That's a dumb one. Given that you can spin away your counter, like, why would you do that? Tone the games down a little bit. Make it where they don't require make it where they require the lives. They can be tough, but make it where they require the lives and you're not losing them at a rate of just like, Gah. And then use the Wumpa Fruit in order to make them lives again, and you're fine. In order to give yourself more lives again, and they're fine. I don't know why the Wumpa Fruit counter had to be a thing. Like, I'm sorry. I love the game, but why'd you turn it into N? Why did you turn it into the N plus games? That's not what they're for. That's not what the Crash Bandicoot series is for. Okay, this one can give me a little... I was about to say this one can give me a little bit of trouble, and then it's like, bet I'm going to give you trouble now. I was going to say, this level can give me a little bit of trouble in the bonus round later. I'm going to have another, like, box bridge that I'll have to just be obsessively counting over, but... There we go. But yeah, like, the later game turned it literally in some sections to, like, level of N+. Or, like, Super Meat Boy. And it's like, why? That's not what the game was for. People are complaining about a game that's... People were complaining about rage on the game that's not hard. And then you basically went, oh yeah? Wanna really rage at it? You really want to turn the difficulty up? And I'm one of the people who was like, no, it was fine where it was. It was fine where it was. You didn't need to turn it up at all. You could turn it up a little. You could turn up the difficulty a little, and I wouldn't mind, probably. But, yeah, the level it got to was, Insane is the only one in the entire series that makes me want to pull hair. I mean, sorry, not Insane. That's what we're playing right now, is the Insane trilogy. It's About Time is the only one that makes me want to pull hair from how much they upgraded the difficulty in the game. Like, this is not terrible. Warped is also not terrible. Warped has some nasty levels, too. Oh. Yeah, I should have made a little bit more attention to that one. But yeah, like, Warped has some nasty levels, and this one does, too, but... speaking of which, Cold Hard Crash coming up here is one of those nasty levels, but it's not, like, terrible. It's not pull hair throw controller. Hell, at this point, even Stormy Ascent isn't like throw controller level. That's saying something, considering Stormy Ascent is notoriously difficult. But it's not bad. It's not, at least it's not in the way that frickin' some of the Insane trilogy gets to. Those levels are bad. Some of those later levels are like, what the fuck were you thinking levels of difficulty when making this? I'm sorry about that, but yeah, there's an entirely honest feeling on that. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna take, nah, we'll do Totally Fly, because this one's honestly quick. I was gonna take a break, but Totally Fly is quick. Also, I very, very much like this level. It's one of my favorites in this game. Individual levels, I think this is one of my favorites. Once again, it already has the thing active because it's a secret level, so there's no crystal. But we're not going to do that right away. And yep, it's a dark one. We have limited visibility with our... or limited light with our Firefly here. It will go away after a certain amount of time. But in one of the funniest things to me in this game, the Firefly light in this level, in the hidden level, lasts longer. We're going to encounter another one of these in the main route on the 5th warp room. So this one this one's a hidden level. You could not find it. Or it doesn't give an obvious indication that this level exists. Aside from the fact that you might be missing like a gem. Or now in this upgraded version, a relic. Fuck you. Don't need your bridge. There we go. But yeah. This one, despite being higher on the list, so supposedly slightly harder, the light lasts for longer. The level concerns? Yes, they're a little bit harder to deal with. That was just me being stupid. So the level concerns are a little bit harder to deal with, but these flies actually last longer than the initial version. And they last longer than the one that's part of your main level route. Like the one that's required to go through. But there it goes. It disappeared. That being said, not too concerned. It's not going to come out very well. It's not coming out too well on my... on the screen, but I actually could see what I was doing there. Which, point of contention, I know people like to argue this point, but I can't in the other level. I will show that later, too. But that one was actually fairly easy for me to actually see where I was going. Even on the part that was supposedly entirely dark, and you couldn't. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit better breakpoint. We started the 4th warp rune, and I got the secret level out of the way. What percentage are we at, actually? I'm curious. What percentage level are we at now? 61, so we are about at the 2/3 mark. So yeah, I will head back up to the 4th warp room. We will call it a break here, and then we will continue and probably finish when we come back. I don't have that much more to go, but that being said, again, these last levels are going to be actually kind of long. So and we got the more notorious set coming up here. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. Also, this warp room music is jam. I'll just jam out to this.